Sorry, not sure why I got cut off there, but yes, we're going to take the power that I do have in this situation and I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to do something with it. All right, so in our money and material sector, right? So this is for everybody. This is like the general energy or theme that's coming through. And this month we get the Seven of Swords, right? So this is, it's not going to be an easy month for finances. And I mean, Mercury is retrograde at the end of, it starts on Halloween, right? So on the 31st of October, we've got Mercury going retrograde. And that tends to bring an energy of finances, commerce, business, all of that stuff. It tends to slow down in that period. The Seven of Swords is basically saying throughout the month of October, get on top of your expenses. This is a month for you to really start to discover where your money is going, how to marshal your resources, how to pay attention to where your money is going. Is it something that you're subscribed to costing you more than it actually should? Are you getting the service that you actually pay for? This is about paying attention this month to where your finances are going and ultimately staying on board with them, right? This is about doing everything that you can, crossing your T's, dotting your I's and making sure, I mean, this is a month as well to really pay attention to who has access to your bank account, all of that sort of stuff. This is about being very, very on top of those things and being very sure about it. The Seven of Swords is not a great card. It's not an easy card either. Tends to be about lies, deceit, theft, all of that sort of stuff. So the message for me this month is quite clear. It's about taking your time. It's about really taking the time to observe what it is that you're doing and also what's happening in your finances. So this also talks about your health. It also talks about your home as well. So this is a month to check all the locks on the doors. This is a month to check all the window seals, all of those things. Think of this as kind of like a preparatory month, right, when it comes to, you know, hunkering down for the winter, so to speak. So my advice would be to get on top of all of that stuff now before it becomes an issue later down. In terms of your physical health as well, this is basically saying now is the time to get on top of these kind of things, right? Now is the time to really focus in on that kind of energy. Think long term when it comes to your health. So start making the small changes and adjustments that you can today, so that tomorrow you don't end up having to deal with something on a bigger scale. So our communications with the world at large. This month we get the Ace of Wands. This is beautiful, right? So communication is going to be great this month, and no surprise, right? Because we're actually coming to the end of Libra season. So halfway through the month we'll be still in that energy, but this is about communication. It's about understanding. It's about finding ways to communicate with people that really express and demonstrate the best of who you are. What are your great ideas? This is a time for you to share them. You know, with the Ace of Wands right next to that Seven of Swords, if there is money involved or it is a money making idea, maybe sharing it with people that you can really trust is probably well advised, you know, because we've got whatever your ideas are, whatever your new beginnings in your ideas sector, right? Especially with your communications, you're talking about things that matter to you and you're getting fired up and passionate and emotive about these things, which is great. Just make sure that you're sharing these things, especially if they're money making ideas, with people that you can trust with that information, that aren't going to kind of, you know, as soon as your back's turned, run off and kind of take that idea and do something with it themselves. But the Ace of Wands, really great month for communication. Lots of sharing, lots of speaking, lots of enjoyment as well. This could be a very sociable month for everybody involved as well. And the fact that we've got it as an ace, this means that in some way, shape or form, there is going to be what is effectively a new beginning, right? It talks about starting something. So for some of you, this could be aligning yourself with a social group, you know, finding a hobby, maybe even finding a charity for some of you. And then finally, for the heart and half sector, when we're talking about love, emotions and relationships, we get the Seven of Wands, right? So Seven of Wands suggests that easy communications when it comes to love this month. It suggests as well that we're not necessarily going to war for our relationships. It's more a case of we and our partners, for those of you that are in relationships, we and our partners are looking out in the same direction. It's like whatever we have to face, we're going to face it together. Whatever it is that might come in that needs to be dealt with, we will deal with it together. For those of us that are single, those of you, should I say, that are single, the Seven of Wands in your heart and half sector is basically saying this month you've got to stand up for love, right? You've got to stand up and be open to relationships. You've got to be standing up and willing to be in a relationship if that's so, if that's so what you choose, if that's what you want. The Seven of Wands does suggest as well that maybe for some of you that are single, you could be making a decision when it comes to relationships that is either unpopular or maybe met with some resistance. And it's not necessarily because you're making a bad choice. It might just be because you're being taken away from a certain group or a certain person. Remember, we've got that Seven of Swords there, and you've got two sevens here. So you've got the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Swords, which are two of the more difficult sevens of the of the four. So really, really interesting as a month, so to speak. So the first week of October, what do we need to know? What do we need to look out for? We need to know and look out for the Strength card, right? So the Strength card is number 8, and it falls right underneath the Eight of Cups. This is all about power. This is all about having the innate power, finding your own strength, finding your own courage to deal with your circumstances and to move past any of the cycles that have held you back, to move past any of the cycles that have held you down in some way, shape or form. This is about really pushing beyond your own barriers, pushing beyond your own limits. It's about living truly and authentically. So this first week of October, you really want to start to get more discerning about what you are in for the long haul and what you no longer want to be a part of. What is it or who is it that you're phasing out of your lifescape? This is going to be a really interesting month, I think, and I think the first week of the month is going to kick it off with a bang. I feel like you'll be making a lot of decisions that affect your everyday practical life. Second week of the month, we've got the Emperor right underneath the Seven of Swords. So the second week of the month, you could be hearing about or seeing a lot of legal things shaping up. This could be stuff that people are really this could be stuff that people are really starting to get a bit get a bit particular about, right? So again, like I said, cross your T's, dot your I's. If you get any paperwork this month, check it and check it twice. Remember, Mercury goes into shadow mid-month of October and then goes retrograde right at the end, on the last day of the month. So that energy is going to be there. And the Emperor card talks about, it can be police officers, it can be legal professionals, in deference to, say, the Justice card, which represents legal proceedings, right? So this is the people that you would deal with. So really keep an eye on your paperwork. Make sure that if you're chucking mail and letters and stuff out, you're shredding things, right? This is a month to be very careful or cautious over that kind of sensitive information, especially in this second week. When it comes to money and finances, it does look like a lot of us may be in line for somebody coming to you cap in hand and saying, look, I need this, can you help me with that? And if I'm honest, with the Seven of Swords, the chances are the reason that you're being asked for, the reason that you're being presented with for somebody asking you for money, for support, for funds or something or other, is not quite what the actual reason is. Where your money goes, you probably won't be able to be very conscious about this month. So it's almost like, sometimes if you agree with somebody without necessarily vetting what they're really saying or what their true intentions are, you end up getting that whole thing about guilty by association. This could very much be that this month. You could find that somebody comes to you and says, oh, I've got this going on, when actually they're just trying to get money because they're trying to cover a bad debt from gambling, from any kind of untoward vice is the word that I'm looking for. So your third week of the month, you've got the Wheel of Fortune right underneath the Ace of Wands. I mean, this is spontaneous communication, and it's also synchronistic communication. Communications look really good this month. This is where the power is going to be. Opening up a dialogue, reaching out to people in positions of authority looks really good this month. All of these kind of things can happen if you are open to it, you know, and if you find that people are making their way into your life this month, you know, that are in positions of power. You could end up having conversations this month, especially in the third week of the month, with people and thinking, wow, you know what, this person can really assist me or help me get ahead in some way. And the fact that you've got the Wheel of Fortune there, this is about energy or work that you've already put in, which is absolutely fantastic. Then finally, with the fourth week of the month, we've got the Hermit card and the Seven of Wands. So this is about taking it easy. This last week of the month, especially as we get ready for that Mercury retrograde, this is where you really want to be paying attention to the inner senses. This is where you really want to be discerning about what it is that you're going to put your name to, about what it is that you're going to involve yourself with, about what it is that you're willing to defend. You know, it could be that you are called on by a partner to, you know, not go to war with them, but to fight the good fight in some way, shape or form. It's going to be up to you to decide whether you actually want to be a part of that or not, whether it actually is something that you resonate with or something that you feel maybe doesn't necessarily resonate with who you are or what your actual beliefs are. And you know, it works kind of both ways as well. You know, it could be you that's asking a partner to, you know, to stand with you and defend, you know, something, and that could be brought into question. The fact that we've got such strong communicative energy this month means that the ability to open up the dialogue is there, right? So that feeling of mutual understanding, that feeling of mutually beneficial conversation is there. Be open to speaking this month. Be open to opening up a dialogue. It's going to be where the strongest power is found this month, and it will also stop those very likely Mercury retrograde type miscommunications, right? So as you saw there, the card that jumped out for the key to the month is the Ten of Cups, which is absolutely beautiful. And the feeling that I get from this is, if you remain open, if you remain diligent, this can be an absolutely brilliant month. This is a month to lay foundations. It's a month for you to be open. It's a month for you to find your own power. By doing so, you will find a place at home within yourself. The other thing with the Ten of Cups as well, it represents home, but it also represents abundance. It represents the kind of abundance that you hope to reach. This could be a very good month that sets you up for that kind of abundance. So pay attention to all of the wonderful opportunities that are shaping up around you, and if you are so called upon in any way, shape or form, just absolutely be open to what it is that's being offered. And like I said, you know, there's lots of spontaneous energy here, which I absolutely love. That Ten of Cups basically says that even with the Seven of Swords there, this can be a great month, providing you are willing to be open, providing you are willing to open up a dialogue, and providing you are willing to stand up and be counted. That is going to be the important stuff this week. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.